All right, we are looking at a trade in one of our Dynasty follower
That's
leagues on
right.
today's video. You guys know how this goes. We're going to look at the trade without context. And then because we're in a league with some of our supporters, we're going to look at their teams and see if context changes anything for us. Now, we're trying to include players who are kind of ascending. And Justin Fields, I would say, is the ascending asset in Dynasty football right now in the
Correct.
past 4 to 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a big trade in our Alpha League where Justin Fields was moved. And I want to give a big shout out to How About This Guy and Dutchy
Hey, boys, doing?
because we're going to be talking about their teams
Yeah.
on today's video and the trade that they made. So, How About This Guy gets Justin Fields. Dutchy gets Akers, Justin Ross, a 23 first and two 23 firsts actually, my bad.
Right.
Now, I don't know exactly where those firsts are. We'll find out here, I'm sure as we go through the context of the video, but right now without knowing where those 23 firsts are, where do you lean on this deal?
Uh, Honestly, I actually believe it's a good trade for both teams, right? If you're a guy that believes in Justin Fields, great. You just got an ascending quarterback that the organization, the team is going to continue to rebuild around. If you're someone that doesn't believe in Justin Fields, now you have an opportunity to get 223 first. Hopefully, that's 223 first in at least the top 8, right? You can get a quarterback and potentially a running back. Or a wide receiver, depending on your team. I think Cam Akers and Justin Ross are just throw-in pieces. Moving forward from Cam Akers, like looking into the future for Cam Akers just seems completely irrelevant. He's not going to be fantasy relevant anytime soon. And Justin Ross, it seems great, but he's on the Kansas City practice squad. They just traded for Kadarius Toney. Juju Smith kind of looks like he potentially might
get a long-term deal.
Yeah, he could get a long-term deal, right? So everything has to go right for Justin Ross, where he might just be a practice squad guy or something could happen. But I think it truly is an even trade. Even if you take out Cam Akers and Justin Ross, I think Justin Fields right now is worth 2 firsts, 23 firsts.
Yeah.
So I feel really confident. And like Zach said, we're going to get more context on where these 23 firsts could actually be with Sean and looks like Ed Max 23 firsts. But I actually really like both trades for both teams.
Yeah, I would say it's even value. I believe Dutchy took over a team and he was going to rebuild. I believe he orphaned a team in the Alpha League and he was going to rebuild. So, but my problem with rebuilding and sending away a young ascending piece is we're kind of, and again, like we have to look at his team and find out what it looks like right now. But that Justin Fields is like the ideal piece that you would have dreamed to have gotten in the 23 draft right now, based off of what we believe he can become. Not only has he been elite on the ground as a rushing quarterback this year, I think a lot of people are not remembering that he's also an elite passer. That was a huge part of his game coming out of Ohio State, and a big reason why a lot of people loved him. It wasn't just because of his legs. It wasn't just because of the athlete and the speed that he had on the ground. It's because of his elite arm. The arm strength is there to make any throw. He was quite accurate in college. And he had the IQ.
Beautiful.
He showed the IQ. So I think Justin Fields has literally everything that I would want from a young quarterback to rebuild around. So that's why I'm interested to see what Dutchy's future picks look like, the rest of his team looks like. To me, you're right. Akers, not someone that I've really been high on. I think we can all agree now that he's not really worth anything, if we're honest. Justin Ross, you're right. Practice squad guy, what's the chances he becomes relevant? It's quite slim. Very talented, but with all the hurdles that he's come across, it's quite slim that he ever becomes a relevant player. So you're right. It really is a 2 first for Justin Fields. And I think if I'm rebuilding, I'm hoping that one of those firsts is a quarterback like Justin Fields in a Superflex league. So I'm going to take the Justin Fields side of this. I think initially you look at it and you say to yourself, oh, that could potentially be an overpay. But I don't know. I like the Field side of this trade without any context. But I guess we should include the context and see what will happen. But again, I think people are, not to say that Dutchy is, but I just think people in general are looking at Fields, what he's doing on the ground, and saying, okay, yeah, well, he can do it on the ground. Well, don't forget that he was an elite pass passing prospect as well coming out of college.
Yeah.
He's just had Darnell Mooney to throw the ball to. That's it. So
Yeah.
I think you're going to see that part of his game also expanded. He could be one of the best weapons in the entire league. Like he genuinely could be we could be talking about him, depending on how he finishes the rest of the season. We could be talking about him as a top 4, top 5 dynasty quarterback. Some people probably already view him that way, as a top 4 or 5 dynasty quarterback. So what would you pay to have the 104? What would you pay to have the 105 in a dynasty startup? I think you would definitely be willing to pay this. Is the way I view it. But again, like, where's the line then for Fields, for Dutchy? Like, how much should he expect back? Like, you're not gonna get 3 firsts. So I can see where it's like it's relatively even value. I would say, if you put it like in a trade calculator.
Yeah.
But I think context is important. So right now you're saying pretty even trade. I'm going on the Field side.
Okay.
I'm asking you the question.
Yeah. It's tough. I would go with the Field side right now as well, just based off of how he's playing and everything that's happening with Justin Fields. Because I think these 23 firsts can literally be anywhere, which we're about to find out, right? So security just feels right now. It feels good to have Justin Fields with the security and the way that they're moving forward with this offense. So I would go Justin Fields with you.
Okay, so if those firsts are like top 3, then maybe we'll have a different conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they just played in week 10, so you can see how about this guy on the left and Dutchy on the right. Now, they're both 5-5 after this week, so I think Dutchy was actually 5-4 entering the week, and how about this guy was 4-5 entering the week, if I'm not mistaken. So how about this as Justin Fields, which you just acquired, Jonathan Taylor, CMC, Godwin, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Hawkinson, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, and Jalen Hurts. On his bench, he has Jimmy G, Ryan Tannehill, Kenyon Drake, Singletary, Herbert, who just went on IR, Boyd, Gallup, Ingram. So it's a pretty good squad here.
Yeah.
For how about this? I'm pretty sure I'm competing in this league as well, so we'll probably see him in the playoffs for sure. And then on Dutchy's side, we have Kirk Cousins, David Montgomery, Najee Harris, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Dalton Schultz, Travis Kelce. So we got the double tight end stack here. D-Hop, Tua. So, I mean, this is a pretty good starting lineup. On the bench, we have Deebo Samuel. We got Rondale Moore. I don't know, man. I feel like we should have run with Justin Fields here. And I think maybe the point with Dutchy is his intention was to rebuild this team, if I'm not mistaken, when he orphaned it in the offseason.
Yeah.
But you had pieces like Tyreek, which, now is helping him win games. You had pieces like Fields, who was helping him win games. Kelce, who was helping him win games.
So how about now doesn't have anyone in this taxi or IR currently. And then Dutchy has Michael Thomas, Javonte Williams, and Desmond Ridder on either on IR or taxi. He also has Hunter Long, and then
Michael Thomas, Javonte Williams. Who else? Sorry,
Desmond Ridder. Those are the ones that could potentially be something. Well, Michael Thomas, nothing. But Javonte Williams still, and Desmond Ridder, if we can see him this year on the field, then maybe he has some good, quarterback depth potentially. But
maybe you look at Dutchy's team and you look at the running back position specifically, and you say to yourself, if you're Dutchy, man, can I really win it all with this current running back room with Monty, Najee, who's been massively underperforming, and that was all of his running backs after losing Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where the thought process is
maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Let me gear up for next year instead.
Yeah, exactly. And then getting Cam Akers, maybe he's going to get traded to another team where he might have opportunity. Maybe even at the second half of the season, because Cooper Kupp is essentially out for the rest of the season. Maybe they're going to have to result in the run game a little bit more. But at the same time, we're still not confident in that, So anything can happen with any of these guys. I guess trying to see the bright side in the Cam Akers and or Justin Ross. But, for both teams, it feels all right. But at the same time, I do agree with you. Why didn't we just stick with Justin Fields here?
Yeah. I think, you stick with Justin Fields, and then maybe I wonder how many picks he had, if he had room to make a move and get a running back.
Yeah.
Of course, Dutchy, and how about this? If we are leaving out any context, please provide it in the comments below. But you can see, how about this guy? His earliest pick this year is a third, but then he has all of his picks after that from 24 onwards. I believe I actually have his first. Yes, I do. So now I think he's going to go on a run for sure with that squad. Meanwhile, Dutchy has 3 firsts. So he had his first, but he adds Ed Mack and Sean's first. He adds a second. Oh, he already had the second there as well. I don't know, man. I feel like we should have gone for it.
So I was just checking the league. Ed Mack currently, which is one of his first, is 6-4, currently standing 5th out of a 12-man team, 12-man league. Yep. And then also Sean is 8-2, currently second in the league. So that he looks like he's secured a playoff spot. So that it looks like one of those first is probably going to be a 9-12, right?
Okay.
Potentially. And then depending on if Ed Mack could continue to win, looks like how many weeks there is. There's week 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, or technically 17. So technically 6 more weeks of fantasy football. He can potentially go, I don't know, let's say he splits that, right? So he goes 9 and 7?
Yeah.
Right? He can potentially make the playoffs like that. In fantasy.
Well, you have to keep in mind the playoffs start in week 15, brother.
Week 15, yeah, that's true. I guess it all depends. I mean, like at the moment, it doesn't look like he's gonna have a top 5 pick out of these 2 picks.
Doesn't, no.
It looks like it's gonna be more middle of the pack. Maybe from 6.
Unless his mindset is like, okay, I got Kirk Cousins, who looks like he's probably gonna be the starting quarterback for at least another 2 to 3 years there, based off his performance this year. I've got Tua. So I have 2 quarterbacks I feel like I can rely upon. I don't have the running back depth I need. I now have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
We have talked how highly we like this running back class. I can use those first-round picks to go out and get a running back. But he has Kelsey as well.
Yes, Kelsey.
This is tough.
Look, he can.
I got to go with the field side of this post-context as well. I got to go with the field side.
Yeah. Look, Dutchy can definitely move people, though. Like, he has so many opportunities to still compete, but also start to rebuild, right? He has Tyreek Hill. Let's say he wants to move on from Tyreek Hill. He has DJ Moore, who we've been saying to trade away all the time. Now can go to a new team. I think the weakest part of his team is the running back room, which you still have to believe. And maybe that's the part. Maybe that's it. I have the quarterbacks. I need the running backs. Can I get, can I get any one of these top running backs in the end of the first or in the middle of the first,
Yeah.
Can he swap a couple picks? Can he send a 23 first and then move up 2 or 3 spots and then send someone like a Rondell Moore or someone like I don't know, whatever the case may be, right? And an extra 23 second to try and go get a Jahmyr Gibbs that is probably going to be the 105, 106 potentially.
Right.
Maybe that's the goal here. He doesn't necessarily need a top pick. He just needs a running back because he does have Javonte Williams on IR.
Yeah.
He still has Najee. Monty can go to
I'd rather sell
team.
Kirk Cousins, though.
I agree. I don't think
I'd
you
rather
can get
sell
a first
Kirk Cousins,
for Kirk,
and I don't think you can get a first either. But I'm saying, like, if I can get a second, and then I can use that second and my first to maybe move up in the draft next year, or take another shot at one of these, like a Blake Corum who might fall to the second.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't want to give up Justin Fields. Only 23 years old, ascending. We haven't even seen the passing part of his game really open up just yet. The Bears look like they're going to have a top 7 pick. They could get any wide receiver in this draft that they want.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think I got to go field side here still.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I'm still going field side. I think, like, there's a bright side with still getting these firsts. And I think that's what I'm seeing, whether it's getting a running back in the draft or even trading one of these first for a running back that could potentially have a better opportunity.
For sure.
Saquon gets a contract extension, Austin Eckler, well, he already got a contract extension, like something along those lines that he can potentially do.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it's definitely fair. I think if I kept Justin Fields here, I still have my first. Maybe I would have used my first and my second to go out and get like a Swift who's currently like in a down spiral.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or maybe I would have just used my first for Josh Jacobs and rocked with Josh Jacobs, Najee, and Monty and the rest of the core. But I don't know. Dutchie, let us know. And also, how about this guy? Let us know if we left out any context. I'm still going to go the Justin Fields side here. But I don't think anyone got screwed over by a deal. I would say that's even value for Fields. I just think I would only, again, I find it hard moving off of young quarterbacks when I'm back in Superflex. I feel like they're the most valuable thing that you can have. So that's why I find it hard here.
I hear you. I definitely get your perspective. I actually really like the trade regardless, just based off of like the thought process that I'm having for Dutchie's first. Yeah. I do believe it's even trade, but Justin Fields does have the edge, especially with the team and the context that we've gotten.
Sure. No, I can see where you're coming from. Why don't you guys who are watching let us know in the comments below where you stand on these trades. If you think any context that we missed out or anything that you guys want to add, let us know in the comments below. And we'll see you in the next video.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.